This call is now being recorded. Yeah, all right, guys, you're welcome to another exciting moment on the channel. Yeah, in this video, I'll be sharing with you the most recent happening. I mean, the most recent update on the NNPC graduate training interviews section, right? So, guys, I'm very sure most of you are already gone for the interview, and I'm so also sure that some of you are still preparing to go for the interview. In any of these cases you find yourself, guys, I wish you all the best. I wish you guys all the best. I cannot wait to celebrate you. Of course, you know that. I can't wait to celebrate you guys. So maybe you've gone for the interview already. You can still hang around. These tips we are going to be sharing here might be useful to you someday. And if you're already planning to go for the interview, man, this video is rightly just for you. So you don't have to miss any single clip, any single section of this video. Now, very quickly, I want to share with you the flow of this video. We are going to be discussing three basic things. The first one is what most people neglect when it comes to interview. That's the first one. And the second one is, of course, before we go to the second one, the first one is what most people neglect. When it comes to interview, everybody is just really concerned about the questions they're going to ask. Then what about the transition from where you were sitting down to the point when you were called for the interview? How you enter the room, how you greet your interviewers, how you sit down, how you exit the room. All of these things sum up to the result you're going to get after the interview. So, guys, you don't have to neglect all those stuff. So, we're going to be talking about that stuff in a moment. So, secondly, I'm going to be sharing with you the experiences of those who have already gone for the interview so that you can actually put yourself in line properly. And lastly, I'm going to share with you some questions that they were asked on the interview day. And of course, you know, the last but not the least is the money stuff, right? All right, guys. So just for you, if this is exactly what you this is what you're expecting from this video, just hang around to the very end of this video. And of course, do not hesitate to put it down in the comment section how this video has helped you in your preparation or in anything you're actually planning to do. So, guys, let's get started with the very first thing we want to discuss here. Now, before you go to the interview room, which they call the panel room here in the NNPC, you'll be actually be on the waiting list. You actually be on a waiting, maybe on a kind of a reception where you have to wait for your number to be called, and an usher or somebody will walk you to the panel room. Okay, now when you get to the panel room, the door might be closed, the door might be open. How do you now walk in? It's very important. If the door is open, don't just walk in. You want to stand at the door and you greet them. Don't just walk in. You can just say, you can just stand at the door and say, "Good morning, everyone. My name is Nnpcl Oversee. I am here for the graduate training interview section. Please, may I come in?" So at this point, you've introduced yourself. They know who you are. They know you're not a stranger, and you've greeted everybody. They can say, "Okay, yeah, guy, please come in and have a seat." Now that is how to approach that kind of case. But what if you approach the panel room and the door is locked? What would you do, or what will you do? You don't want to open the door, guys. Don't open the door like that. You have to knock on the door. Knock on the door, just moderately. Don't hit the door like you want to break the door. Knock on the door politely and wait for a response. If you hear a response, okay. If you hear a response, please come in. Now you walk in and you close the door because you didn't meet the door open. So when you walk in, you close the door. All right. So when you close the door, you move forward to the board, like where you have your interviewer seated. Please don't sit down. Please, guys, don't sit down. And one thing most people do, don't start greeting all your interviewers one after the other. I think that is not smart. That is not smart. You greet them all at once. And if maybe in fact, it is just basic. You cannot just have all men interviewers, cannot just have all female interviewers. It's usually going to be male and female. So you don't want to start greeting, "Good morning, ma, good morning, sir, good morning, sir, good morning, ma." I think that is really very is outdated. It's not a smart way to greet your interviewers. You can just walk closer to them. Remember, we are just on the point where the door was locked. You open the door, you go close to the interviewer and you greet, "Good morning, everyone. My name is Nnpcl Oversee. I am here for the graduate training interview." Now they'll say, "Oh, you're welcome, Michael. Please have a seat." You get it now. So this is are the ways you want to walk into an interview room. Don't just barge in and don't just start greeting them one after the other. Okay, you greet them with this kind of format, or you can actually go and research about the best way to greet your interviewers. I'm just sharing with you my best opinion. So, guys, you can actually build on it, work on it, do your research, and add to what I have said to you. So, these are what most interviewees, they neglect this stuff a lot, and they are just only focusing on the questions they are asking them. Guys, everything I've just shared with you, with the response to the question they're asking you, will sum up to the result of your interview. So I think that's the first part I want you guys to be clear with, because most people have already asked me on that particular one. And when you sit on the interview, when you sit down, you don't want to bend your head, guys. Don't bend your head. Don't be shy. You sit down and you look at the interviewers. They are humans like you, guys. Don't start fidgeting. Don't start um, wobbling. Guys, just sit down, relax, sit down with confidence, but don't sit down like you're the boss. Sit down politely, guys. You can check videos on YouTube on how to sit down for an interview section. There are many ways you can sit down, but you have to be moderate. Okay, you have to be moderate. So I think I have actually discussed the first section of this video. So now let's go to the second section, which is the experience of some of those guys who have gone for the interview. I got this stuff from Noah Limatic. He shared that with me. So I'll be sharing with you their experiences. If this is not what you want, you can skip this one to the last part, which is the questions they were asked. Now, this one was says there are different stages on their report, right? Now you have to go there as early as possible. You can arrive there as early as 7 a.m. because there will be crowd, so they can have a seat and have a well welcome. So don't be late at all, guys. Don't be late at all. That is what this guy is trying to say here. So the stage two is that when you come in, you go to a verification point where they will verify your credentials, like your NYC, your WAEC, your degree certificate. They are going to do all of those stuff. They are going to do all the verification on those stuff. And basically, they are really interested in your dates of birth. Yeah, they want to really know how old you are. Like the certificate you're presenting, does it correspond with your date of birth? Like, are you actually forging your date of birth? Are you actually doing some illegal stuff with your date of birth? They are very concerned about that from the report I'm having here. So, guys, make sure all of these stuffs are really clear. And once you're done with the verifying process, I think they'll give you a tag, a wristband that has a tag on your department. So let me quickly read this. So it says here they will separate sciences, management sciences, engineering, art, law. They are going to separate you after the verification, and they'll give you a tag. All right. So some tag will be like GTSCI/01. That means that graduate training science 01. That is your number. That's your interview number. Okay, that is the number they will be calling before you go to the interview also. And again, you don't want to be among those people that will distract you. You don't want to be called and you're not found. Please, guys, pay attention. Don't play around. Don't walk around. Listen. That is why you're there. Stay where you can hear when they call the number so that you don't miss your number. That will not be a good way to start the interview, guys. So you know that. Now, the next one is you'll be taken to an is it amphitheater hall. Here you'll be addressed on the program of the day. I think you're gonna have some people, maybe some of their staffs, some of their management staff, like their HODs. They will come and address you guys, talk to you guys. You know, like the stuff they always do that. If you've been following them on their YouTube channel, you'll see that the last time I think their director came to address them, the potential staff of the Nnpcl. So that is where you'll be addressed, guys. So that is the flow. That is the flow for the interview. And again, you have what they call the energy room. Of course, these guys they are energy company, so they have energy room for you. That place you go there and have your lunch or breakfast and some light refreshment. I'm very sure all of these things are going to be for free. These guys are big guys, so it's going to be for free. You have your tea, biscuit, snacks, and all of those stuff, right? And now the main point is the stage 4, which is the interview point, right, guys? This is where this is the main thing. This is the main thing there. So in this interview section, from what my research I've done so far, actually some people have gone for the interview. They say you're going to meet about 4 or 5 persons in the room, your interview room. How do you do this stuff is that the science go to the science part, they distribute you accordingly. They cannot take somebody who did maybe linguistic to a science department. No, actually do the separation clearly. They take you to where you're supposed to be. So that is how they do it. They do that according to your course of study, because in the panel room, you're going to get some people who have experience in that your course of study. That's the idea of how they separate you guys. So there are various stuff. So when you get into the room, we've discussed all of those stuff in the first section, how you get to the interview room, like that, like that. So when you get to the interview room, it says this guy is saying they are going to bombard you with questions mostly related to your course of study. If you've watched our first video on the interview section, which is day one, we talked about some basic interview questions. We discussed them entirely with Mr. Isaac. I hope you guys still remember. If you not watch the video, kindly go and check that video, because that video has helped a lot of people when it comes to this interview section. So, guys, we discussed all of this stuff. In fact, there is nothing new that I am seeing from my research so far that they are asking you. Everything the interviewers have been asking them, we've talked about them in our day one and day two video. So, guys, if you've not seen those videos, go and watch this video, because they're going to ask you questions that are related to your course of study. So you must be grounded. You must be grounded, and you must actually understand how the course you've studied, because that will give you a very good edge. Like we told you in the first video, we said the first question the interviewer is going to ask you is, tell us about yourself, introduce yourself. And the way you respond to that question sets the tone for other questions, right? It gives you a better chance, or it actually sets you up, bring in, it actually put the interviewers in a lane to ask you some other questions. So if you get that first question correctly, guys, I'm very sure that the subsequent question will not be a problem. All right. So you want to give that your best attempt. So that is what you want to do, guys. I think that is what the interview section is all about. So the last part is how you exit. You exit the place, and once you exit the place, I have to read this stuff because there's good thing here. It says when you are done with your interview, you go downstairs, following the exit signs. You can also ask the security men if you're not sure how to leave the room. So they will direct you. You will go to where you will be given your subsidy allowance. Guys, after the interview, they have a package for you, and that package is 100,000 naira. They'll give you your subsidy allowance, and upon that, you will have to submit the wristband and everything they have given you for the interview. So, guys, this is what I'm sharing. This I'm sharing with you is an experience with somebody who has already gone for the interview. I hope this is going to help you. And now, the last part of this video is we're going to be discussing the questions those of them who are going for the interview, the questions they were asked. I'm going to discuss that with you here, and that is all for this one. Now, this guy, I think his course of study. Let me quickly find his course of study. He said that earlier. Well, I can't find his course of study because you actually know that the questions they ask you varies, depends on your course of study. They cannot ask you questions. A science and a linguistic question cannot have the same question. So the questions the interviewers are asking you, it varies based on your course of study, based on your discipline. Now, for this guy, he's saying that the first question they asked him was, introduce yourself to us, which we have discussed here in this video. In the day one video, we discussed all of this stuff, right? So they said discuss, introduce yourself to us. That was the first question he was asked. And the second question is, what skills did your experience teach you? What skills did your experience teach you? We also discussed all of this stuff in the video we did previously. Your skills, what experience does it teach you? Of course, you must have one or two skills. If you don't have any skills, your academic skills is there. Like, let's say, for example, I studied mathematics, and I also have other skills aside math, right? So there must be some things my skills have taught me, right? So I studied mathematics. I studied pure mathematics, right? Most people call it pure and applied. Most people call it mathematics. It depends, yeah. So my skill have actually taught me, has actually deepened my level of research, my analytical thinking, because over the years, solving problems over the years, I've deepened my reasoning. Like, that's deepened my level of research. I've done a lot of works, researches, and all of that. and like that, problem solving. So there must be one or two things your skills have taught you. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that if you don't have any skill, your academic skill can help you out here, it can save you here. So that is what you have to just do. And now the third question he was asked, he says, how does your academic qualification match with the NNPC vision? All of these things in the last video I did with the chat GPT, I discussed all of this stuff for you. So maybe you don't, the second question is not clear. I'm still going to walk you through something that will help you answer question 2, which is what skill did your experience teach you? So stay with me. Now the fourth question is renewable and non-renewable energy. So they're going to ask you on renewable energy and non-renewable energy, which what I'm about to show you is going to help you. And lastly, they'll ask you a question on HSE, which is health, safety, and environment. They're going to ask you questions on that. Okay, as an energy, working for an energy company, oil and gas company, you need to understand some basic rules, some basic principles in the HSE department, because safety is their priority. In what they do, they always consider safety. So that is that for this stuff. That is that for this stuff. So like that, I think we have actually covered everything that you should know. But let me share with you how to answer those questions that was asked to that guy. Let me quickly share my screen with you so I can see it. All right, this stuff is still okay. I think it's coming up. Yeah, it's up right now. Um, 1 second. Let me quickly make sure I'm sharing my screen to you guys. 1 second. Mm, okay. Yeah. I think it's working perfectly now. So this is one way to get through those questions that they are going to ask you, or those questions I've shared with you. Maybe you don't know how to go about it. No tension at all. No worries. The ChatGPT is there to help you. Look at what ChatGPT is saying here. I actually prompt ChatGPT some days ago, and I promised to share this video, but thank God I'm sharing this video here with you guys. So I was asking, I said, hi ChatGPT. He says, hi there. How can I assist you today? I said, great. Do you know about the NNPC in Nigeria? He said, yes, I do. And of course, he was actually talking about the NNPC, how they transited from limited liability, and all of those stuff you should know. So I actually knew that this ChatGPT understand what I was asking. Then I said, interesting. In a few days from now, I'll be going for an interview in the NNPC Limited. Can you share with me possible NNPC interview questions that are related to health, safety, and environment? So I'm only just give you an idea how to prompt the AI, depending on what you are looking for. If you're looking at how your skill, what your skill has taught you, sorry, maybe you're looking at how you I think somebody asked me this question one time. He said, I studied biology. How can biology how can biology let me find that question again. It says how can biology match with the vision of NNPC and the biology I study? Yeah, this stuff can really help you, give you insight. I'm not saying you should cram and pour out what you've crammed from here. When you get through these questions, when you put these questions on ChatGPT, it will give you ideas that you're going to work on. Just like you see now, see the way I'm prompting this AI and see the way it's responding. All right. So when I asked the AI this question on related health, safety, and environmental question, it says, congratulations on your upcoming interview. Here are some potential related health and safety environmental questions that you might encounter. So it says general HSC question. This is general one. Now it says, what do you understand by health, safety, and environment? Why is it important in the oil and gas industry? These are possible questions you're likely going to encounter when it comes to health, safety, and environment. Take note. So you can prompt the AI according to your need. I don't know if you get this stuff. If you're still not clear, put it down in the comment section, and I'm going to walk you through how to go about it. Now, the next general question is telling us here. It says, can you describe the main objective of HSE policies in an organization like NNPC? So these are various questions that you can be asked on the HSE department, right? I talked to us about this some time ago. Now you can see it was just all question. So now I said I need the answers to this question. So I now reprompt the AI again, and I said, so I have to now reprompt. And I said, now, interestingly, a few days from now, I'll be going for an interview in the Nnpc Limited. Can you please share with me possible Nnpc interview questions that are related to health, safety, and environment with their best answers? Now, the previous one, there was no answer, but now I'm putting with their best answer so that if it's giving me any question, any possible question, it should give me uh, the best answer or the best responses to those questions. That is why I have to include the best answers. And here we go. It says, okay, now this is the first one. It says, what does HSE mean? And why is it important in the oil and gas industry? Remember, this was the first question, but then there was no answer. But when I reprompt it with the answers, now look at the possible answer. It's a best answer. HSE stands for Health, Safety, and Environment. It is crucial in the oil and gas industry because it ensures the safety and well-being of employees, contractors, and the public. You see, these are sorry guys, these are the possible answers to this highlighted question. It says it minimizes the environmental impact of operations, including pollutions and habitat destruction. So guys, I think with this explanation, you'll be able to go through every question that is bothering you. Think of the questions, possible questions they are going to ask you, and you can use ChatGPT to give you an idea on how to get through those questions. And if you're not still clear, don't worry, put it down in the comment section. We still have some days before the end of the interview, and might still likely make a video for you, especially for those particular questions you have put down on the comment section. So guys, with all these things being said, I think we've come to the end of today's video. I'm sure it has worth the time hanging around with us. So I'm going to tell you congratulations in advance. All right, see you guys in the next video. Bye.